Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today I'm just going to make a quick video on recommending to everyone who has a late model vehicle to put a battery maintainer on their vehicle during the winter, or if you're somebody who doesn't use the vehicle quite often, like maybe once every 2 weeks or something. Well, you know what? The best thing to do is to go out there and get yourself one of these multimeters, even a cheap one's fine, and just take a look at the voltage and see what you got in your battery. Because I'll tell you something, you leave a vehicle parked for 2 weeks, and especially if you're in a cold climate, well, it drops like a rock. So the first sign that you will notice that you really need a battery maintainer on your vehicle is when you go to start it up, well, it goes right out to about 15 volts and charging. And all you're doing really is just overheating your alternator, costing you a lot of money down the line, and the best thing to do is just put a maintainer on. So let's go out to my vehicles. I'll show you what I do and how easy it is, and I've saved myself a lot of money over the years by just putting a battery maintainer on. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I'm going to show you what I use. Okay, so I got the hood open on the Silverado, and this is what I use. And now this one here I bought many years ago for like 60 bucks. I imagine they're worth a lot more now, but you don't even have to spend that much today. So I've just got it wired up here, and I've got a little bit of a hanger over here, and they're very simple to hook up. You just hook it up to your battery terminals, and what I'm going to do next year is I'm going to install mine permanently down in this well here, and then I'm going to bring the cable over, and right underneath here I'm going to put a plug, so I can just take the cord and just plug it in like that. So this is on the 2021 Silverado, and I tell you something, it makes a huge difference. Like sometimes I don't drive this truck for 2 weeks, but if I were to just leave it, in minus 20 for 2 weeks, go out and try and start it, well, I tell you what, that battery is low. So let's go over and take a look at the 2010 Ford. So here we are here. It comes along, comes down to the ground. I come over to the Ford. I got the hood open, and this is the setup right here. You can see where it just plugs in the back, and this is just one of these cheap battery tenders. Now this one here is a newer one. I think it's about 5-6 years old, and it just does the job, and that's all you really need. So when I come out here, I just plug it in like this. Very easy to do, just 2 alligator clips, and I have tested the voltage just to double verify everything is okay. And every time I check the Silverado or the 2010 F-150 here, it's always around 13.1. So the battery is always charged up when I need it. So whether you live in a hot climate or a cold climate, late model vehicles today have such a huge draw on the battery. Even when they're just sitting there shut off, yeah, they do discharge quite a bit because there's a lot of electronics on a vehicle today. So if you're not going to drive the vehicle, for a couple of weeks, you know what? It's the best thing to do, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can, go online. You can find yourself a relatively inexpensive unit for like $30. You just plug it in, hook it up to your electrical outlet, and they're trickle chargers. I'm not putting like a big charger on, I'm putting a trickle charger. Now the first one I showed you, it's got a menu for a snowflake. And the best thing I could figure out is that's for cold weather charging. I've never had a problem with the battery tender, and it doesn't have any of them features. So when you're looking online for all these different battery maintainers, well, they come with a myriad of options. And I'm saying just the regular plain battery tender is really all you really need. I put that on minus 20, minus 25. It's never failed. I always go out there and check every once in a while. It's around 13.1. So for the amount of money that you're going to spend on maintaining your battery is huge, especially if you live in a cold climate where you want to get out there in the morning and you want your vehicle to start. Well, guess what? Having the little trickle charger on there makes a huge difference compared to a block heater. Because guess what? A block heater only heats your engine, heats the coolant in your engine to give it an easier start. But you need the battery to actually turn over the engine, right? And of course, when your battery is cold, it's depleted, and when you first start your vehicle, it goes full field on you and just, well, overheats your alternator. Now, I'm lucky that I've been doing this for years and years and years and years, or is this preventative maintenance? Because I haven't replaced alternators. My battery's always topped up, and when I start it up, well, it doesn't go full field on you, and just, some of these vehicles today, you could fry an egg on your alternator if you let your battery get down too low. And I found this is the best way to maintain your vehicle, especially in a cold climate. Now, I am going to mount one permanently in there. I'm just going to buy myself like a $30 one that has the eye outlets on it and everything, so I can hook it up permanently to the battery. And because that Silverado, I'm lucky if I use it maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, and that's about it. So you have to maintain the battery because, yeah, late model vehicles today, they got a lot of electronics going on, and at nighttime I can see little lights flashing and all this kind of stuff. So I know it's burning up a lot of voltage in that battery. So thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't seen this channel before, well, I hope you get some interesting tips on vehicle maintenance and a lot of other things that I find interesting that you may find too. Cheers.